Hello everybody, welcome back to the Artisan of Glimmith 935, our solve count. It is the 28th of May as I'm recording today, and earlier this evening there was the, not the Cerebral Puzzle Showcase, although that has just started, the Thinky Direct, where they show off a bunch of puzzle and thinky games, and my goodness, if there isn't a lot of stuff there that my brain wants to indulge in. There was one puzzle left on the forest trailhead. Oh, it was you. Did I just get stuck? I feel like I got stuck because there was just so many options and I couldn't find my inn. Alright then. I remember that. Big 5. So, over here, what do we have? Palisades. There's Mismatch. Remind me of Mismatch. Mismatch is just all regions must be different shapes. I'm waiting to see. I really enjoyed, was it lesser than or great than? But I can't even remember where we saw that. Is it even further down here? Yeah, Inequality was one that I enjoyed quite a lot, but we'll get there. We're still way back here. So, Palisades, sure. We'll do some Palisades. Did I just miss this one? A 4? No, it seems familiar. It does seem familiar. So, what we know immediately is either this is true, and this is a box, and this is a box, or it gets turned the other direction. Okay, this can't work. That can work out if it goes to there. That doesn't have to be there. I don't know why that line was there. Can I make this work with what's left? So that has to do that. I can't. I can't make it work with what's left. Can I? There's no way to do this, is there? That can't have either line, so that must do that and that. That must then take this line, which leaves that dead. So I guess this isn't going in this orientation, and we just need to restart and flip it. And hope that this way leads to a correct version of this. But we shall see. So that line is still there, so this must still do this. So that must take that, and that's still going to take that. Nice. We take these. I got no problem with that. A 3 here. Did I just miss a lot of these, or did I get out of here really fast? That's there, so that's parallel, so that's parallel, that's picking up those, that's picking up those. That has to exist there between them, which means that exists. You get those. That can't do that, so that gets that. You pick up those. That has to pick up that. That's then picking up those. That has to pick up these. That could go that way up. But so far, not bad. This guy has to take that corner up to there. Put a box around it. You have to take these. That can't do that, so it's doing that. You're doing that. That's going to be different there. You have to take this and this and that. Oh dear. Oh wait, that doesn't have to end there. Glad I caught that. Great. 8 more. They're all over the shop here, aren't they? 5, 6, 5, 6, 6, 5, 5. Are you Palisades or are you something else? No, you're something else entirely. You just look really red up here. I was going to say, so it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, okay. 5, 6, 4. I'll take a 4. That's doing that. That's doing that. This has to get out. This has to get out. This has to get out. Out, 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 out. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 regions. And what of it? I need somebody who has something really definite. Well, no, that doesn't help me either. What's definite about any of this? Like, I could do a start. Okay. That would have to do that, but it can't take that. So this has to go this way. Which means that's doing that. And probably this, though it doesn't have to be. Oh, you have to be open to more stuff. I feel like I've balked this already. So that going that way, that picking up all of that. That can't pick up this. How did you pick? How did I have this guy picking up a blue earlier? Did I just not? Oh god. What am I even doing? You get a line, you get a line. You're out, 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 you're out. If this does this, then that would go to that one. This would pick up that. No, I can't get my brain into this puzzle in a way that feels satisfactory. I end up just picking a line on this and colouring, and that doesn't work. But I can't see anything that is like extra definitive for me. Like, I don't have any of these up against a wall, or any of these against a wall, so I don't have a definite basis on a palisade to start ticking things along, you know? if that did that... Okay. Let's just focus on this piece. If the line was on the right, this would have to take that. It can't take that. This can't exist. So the line isn't on the right. That's the straightest line I've ever drawn in my life. If the line is at the bottom, it must make this shape. That could exist. Then this would have to make this shape. But I can't because this interrupts it. Whichever way it goes, this interrupts it. Okay, let's use that piece of knowledge then. Hold on. Whichever way I do this, this would get a line. No, because it can take the corner. Oh, brain! I don't like it. Give me something I can actually make progress on. It's not going well if I'm getting stuck on the 4s and then left with a sea of 5s and 6s. Precision 5. Like, this feels like it gives me so much more to work with. That can't do that, so that has to take this, put a box around it. That's got to come to there, can't do that. Comes to there, put a box around it. That's got to pick up this and those. No, could do that one. But it's got to pick up these, so that's got to go to there. That's got to do that and that. That has to pick up either this or this, so it's getting this. This has to join it. I wonder if this is also going to be a 5 of its own. This can't do this, because then that ends up in that. So I think that has to go to there. And that has to pick up these. That all works. I'm worried about this, though. I guess if that's 5, that can do that. Oh, no. This gets cut off at the ends. All of this felt so good. This has to come out from there, that has to come out from there. Problem with this gap of 5 is that there's no way that I can fill it with what we've got from these without leaving a single in the middle. So I think I'm cooked. I know that's true and that's true. And that leaves this and that, which is no good. Can't be that. Alright then. Restart me with stuff that we know to be true. You have to pick up those. That can't exist, so this one I'm happy with. 1, 2, 3, 4. That can't terminate there, so that one I'm happy with. That has to pick up those, which confines you in. You have to go out and across. So something around here involving this piece ended up wrong. But like, this can happen. That can't happen. One, two, three, four, five. Like, that could hypothetically happen. But I don't see where we fill out the rest of this stuff. So these two I'm very happy with. That must do that. And that must do that. That I'm happy with. This can't take this corner. Because we can't cover that over. And we can't go back on itself. So this I'm happy with. Like, all of this is fine. It's anything thereafter. Now, this being 5 here, and this being a 3 and a 3, we can't divide 3 and 3 and 5 to 11 into two 5s. So all of this must be its own region, mustn't it? Which means that picks up that. That has to be a line. Three, 6, 9, 10. But now we're just getting back to the thing I built earlier, right? That doesn't work. So I need to figure out, I think, a different way to do probably this section, but I'm not sure what that looks like. If that must do this, and this must do that, and that must get out here. Because this can't reach that. This can't reach that. This can't reach that. That doesn't leave enough for two 5s. So I'm really stuck as to what else I can build out of this. That can't take a wall there, because we can't do that and we can't do that. So that's locked in. Five, 5. There you go. Excuse you. Not sure why I didn't see that for so long, but we got there. 6, 6, 5. Good grief. Good gravy, Miss Davy. Right. That's a start. Right there. That is a start. This already has a wall, so it's getting those. This has a wall, so it's getting that. It's just the Palisades. I feel like a lot of these have to produce squares. Like, a lot of this has to produce squares. just not all of them. And that's the tricky part. Right, I don't think this can ever take this tile. No, that could do that. But this can't do that. Oh, no, it can. It can do that. Maybe we're onto something. Ah. Well, take these. Five. The 4 I can't do. 6, 5. Wow, you don't give a lot, do you? Precision 4. There's 3. That's a 4. Lock it in. Mingle shape. Neighboring regions must have different shapes. Okay, well, lock that in, lock that in. Lock that in. You have to get out. Can't do that. Can't do that. Could do this. Could do this, except we can't do that. So that gets that on a 4-liner immediately. This has to get out. Can't be a straight line. Can't be a T. Can't be an L that leaves that there. Can't be a T. Can't be straight. Oh, it can be an L. It could do that, or it could do that. I feel like a big 2x2 could go in here somewhere. Yeah. Again, for 5. Felt very simple, but my barometer for what is supposed to be a simple puzzle and a difficult puzzle is just all out of whack now, I think. That's an interesting Palisade symbol you don't see very often. You have to get out. 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 You have a parallel line, which means that goes out to there. You can't turn that way, so you must turn that way. Possibly picking this up, but not guaranteed. This guy needs 1 wall. And that 1 wall... Huh. Does it have to be... this? I don't think it can be that. Because of then this way not working out. Which way do you take a wall? Could be something like that. Do these 3 have to be in a line with each other? Or could they have 3 parallels? They couldn't have 3 parallels. Okay. If they can't do that, then that means this must exist this way. Doesn't it? Which means that's doing this. That's doing that. Okay. Underneath that line seems pretty solid. You go there. You either get this or this. Unsure which yet. This has a line behind it. So is there any world where that does that? Possibly. So I shouldn't be so fast to label that way. What else can we do? Okay, this has a line behind it. So that has to go up, which means that has to go up again. That then gets a cap and is going to take a corner one way or the other. Then what? Who do we have that we have known knowledge about? This has to come to here. It's about whether it then does this or not. Can it do that? They can't share a region. You can't do that. Okay, so that can't do that, I think. So you have to go to there, which goes to there. You need a line from somewhere. Can't be this side. It could be that side. But that can't exist there. If it was this side. That can't exist there. Wait. Have I broken this completely? Can you not have any side this way? If you do this, you have to pick up those. Can't do that with this. If you do this, you have to pick up those. Oh, that can work. I hope it's getting towards this. Right, you have to pick up that, which means you have to pick up that and cut across there. Which means this is going to be... Oh god, wait, what? Oh, that's fine. That's fine. You have to go out. Which means... Does that have to be your wall? Yeah. A couple of decent 5s. I'm going to come back to this 4. Is there something really so simple that I'm missing over here? Like, there's nobody that is kind of like penned in where... I mean, there's a lot of blues right here. Okay, here's a thought. Inside this shape, there's 4 blues and 2 reds. This blue can't get out past any of this. Therefore, this blue picks up either this red or this red. Right? If it picks up this red, this one is blocked in. Therefore, this blue and this red have to be in an area together. And they can't do it in a roundabout way. So I think this has to exist as is. Which means that can't exist because it puts two blues in. So this must exist. And I can hopefully go from there. I think this has to do that. You pick up that and then either this blue or this blue, but it's ambiguous. You have to do that. I think it would be this shape, which I think I might have hypothesized previously, but either way, I don't think there's any other way to do that, which means you pick up this. You're going to there. If you go right, you block in this blue, so you go left and pick up that. You go up. This is looking a lot more promising than the last, like, 7 or 8 minutes I was looking at this puzzle, apparently. And really, it's because I wasn't thinking about the roses and how the blue can't get out of this corner. So, if this blue goes to there, that blue gets trapped, so this one's taking that, which means this is taking this. How can I make this guy happy? And this guy? I don't know that I can. Oh no. Right, let's back up on this a second. I think the rest of this is fine. I feel like that must be that. Because there's no way... This blue has to go through this guy. We can't do that, so it has to do this. And I don't think... Oh my god, that's so dastardly. That's such a horrible, horrible, like, stretch to pull out. And I know I said, I don't think, and then stop my sentence, did a thing, and it did work. Oh, goodness. Are there any... How many have we got left? 3. 6. 6. 6. What other rules are we working with? That I cannot do right now. I'll tell you that much for free. This precision 5 is like a maybe. This precision 5 feels like I'm not going to get started on that, and I can see that I previously thought about getting started on that and did not. Right, we'll take a little look at this and see how it goes. That all touches. There's nothing on the outside edge, which fills me with terror. That's a 5. Put a box around it. This can't do this because then that would be a 2. So that goes across at the very least. It might pick that up, but this goes across. I do believe that these can't be in the same area because if we put 2 walls on, they have to be a 6. So I think we have to bifurcate those into this. This could get 1 more there. It could get 1 more there. So this is ambiguous right now. Well, if that does that, this would have to go across. No, it can't leave the 1. So I think that picks that up. That becomes not ambiguous anymore. That can't do this because it can't pick that up and leave a 2. And it can't not pick it up and leave a 3. So that's going that way. That's got to get out. That also has to get out. I don't love how this is turning. Oh, it was going reasonably nicely right up until that. Right, back up through here then. So we decided that that can't do that because that would have to do that. So that's doing that. Let's look at the top side. That can't pick up that. If it picks up this, then that has to happen. We can't leave that there. So it picks up that. This becomes a 5. That picks up a corner. We can't pick that up, so that is going to get at least this. That could come out that way. It could come out that way. We don't know which yet. This can't come out to here as a 5. You can't do that and leave a 1. So I think it's either doing this or this. Which leaves this ambiguous. It does this. That ends up like that, which would be okay. That would be viable. If this does this, then does this become non-viable? No, that would be viable. So we need something else to disambiguate on that, which is a shame. So now I'm back down to that lower left corner because I've run out of things that are having impacts on other things. That can't go that way. It simply can't, right? So that is going this way. Now that could go that way. That can't go that way. But that has to take a line. That can't do that or that. So that has to come across. Then this is ambiguous, right? If this goes this way, it can't go to there and leave that. It can't go to there and do that. It can't go to there. Oh, it could do that. That would be viable. That goes that way. Oh, hold on. Hold on. Give me this again. That can't do this. So it has to do this. That means this gets a line. This can't do this, leaving a 1. So it goes across. That's ambiguous, but this is not ambiguous. So that's still ambiguous. This needs a line. But it could be one of many lines. But that is going to there. This needs to pick up 2. It was those 2. This is 7. This is 6, which cannot be. So it's not those 2. If it's these 2, this is still 7. So I think it has to be those 2. Gosh, I hope that's correct. So then that can hypothetically do this. That would do that. And this would go 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't do that. Okay, hold on. Take that away. Leave that ambiguous. Oh, no. Double ambiguity. Still uncertain. I was looking at the line that was touching this then. So I've got 2 ambiguous statements. And I'd like to find a piece of logic that doesn't require that to be bifurcated. If this goes up, this goes out. That doesn't help me. Oh, okay. Should have been looking at this a long time ago. I was thinking about this ambiguity with this thing or this thing. But if this is this way, this ends up as a 2 or a 3, which is no good. So, this is no longer ambiguous. That means this gets out to here. This gets out to here. You now have a line, which means that must come down. This could be 5 here. Could be 5 there. Still ambiguity on that. This cannot go to there because we can't make that 5. So that line exists. You have to come up to here. You can't go down. You can't go up. That's an area. Put a box around it, I think. That means this has to get out. Can't go to there. Must go to there. Put a box around it, I hope. That means this has to go out to there. This could do that. Could do that. Still quite ambiguous. What else do we have? That could not... Oh, that has to take a line. Okay. This needs 2 lines. Can't take that. Can't take that. Must take that. I did think that the W shape looked aesthetically pleasing, but I hadn't internalized the logic on it yet. So that means this is going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 5. 5. God, I hope this is correct. You get out. You get out. This must now take that. Okay. That gets a line. This is either going to be this shape or this shape. Let's just hypothesize for a second that this exists. This is too big to pick this up. So I think we're going to need a different shape about all of that. Perhaps. Otherwise, I've got other problems somewhere along the line. This can't pick up this. So this is either doing this or this. Let's try this version of things. But you have to make a... We can't do this as a... we can't do that as a 5. Can't do that as a 6. So I think that leaves this as the only option that appears like it wants to work. But I really can't make this happy with what I have left, which is a real problem for me. Yeah, there's at least one mistake. I knew that much. I'm just debating whether I reveal it or not and see how far back my problem was. Is there any other way this can go? Was my mistake earlier than here? Yes. Damn. Because all of this worked out so nicely. Even fixing the previous problem we'd had over here. Oh, I hate that. That's got nothing to do with my problems down here. Okay, so the whole top's... oh god, okay. So we wipe out some stuff that was wrong at the top, apparently. But then that means... perhaps there weren't problems here? Oh, so if that's not there, that means this can now work, which means that can do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can't do 6 long there. That's going to have to do this. 4, 5. No? No, surely not. Where was the mistake I made? What? Oh. something like this? Show me a piece of logic I can work with here. So, everything right now is correct. So that must do that, at the very least. This is correct. Then what? It's a great question. This can't exist this way, because that makes 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. No. 1, 2, 3. No. Can't be that way. So, discombobulated by that guy. But once again, this is correct. Everything so far, check-a-rooney. Oh? Oh? Alright. We take those. Right, that is 2 remaining. This nightmare, and this one where I really don't know where we break into it right now, but that's a story for another day. For now, thank you so much for watching. Hit that like button, subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one. Cheers.